Early the next day, as the sun rose over Jilan, Abdulqadir made his way to the place in the market square where the travellers gathered. A caravan of 10 camels was getting ready to leave for Baghdad. Heavy sacks of grain and dates were being loaded. The leader of the caravan was Abdulqadir's Uncle Hassan. He was an old man with a big turban and a grey beard. "Peace be with you, Uncle Hassan," said Abdulqadir. "And peace be with you, Abdulqadir," replied the old man. "Are you ready to go?" "Definitely," said Abdulqadir, showing his uncle his 2 bundles, one of clothes, the other containing his favourite books. Said Uncle Hassan. "Clothes and books. Good. But where's your sword?" Abdulqadir had never held a sword in his life. "Listen, my dear nephew," said Uncle Hassan. "The road to Baghdad is very dangerous. You aren't going on a picnic." He held out the fingers of one hand and ticked them off. "Number 1, said Uncle Hassan. "There are deadly snakes all over the desert. Number 2, there are scorpions and poisonous spiders under every rock. Number 3, robbers. Haven't you heard of Hanja the Merciless and his bandits?" Abdulqadir had heard stories of Hanja the Merciless and all the people he had killed, but strangely, he'd never met anyone who'd actually seen him. Abdulqadir was not quite sure that the wicked Hanja was a real person. "Real or not," said Uncle Hassan, "it doesn't matter. There are robbers for sure, whatever they're called." "Don't you worry about me, Uncle," said Abdulqadir. "My trust is in Allah. He will take care of me." One of the camel drivers came up and reported that everything was ready. "Well, it's your choice, Abdulqadir," said Uncle Hassan, turning to go. "We all trust in Allah, but a sword at one side can also be useful. Come on, look lively. Let's go." Riding on a camel hour after hour was a new thing for Abdulqadir. For the first couple of days, he felt quite seasick. That's because the noble camel moves with a rolling motion as his long legs shift his weight from side to side. It takes a lot of getting used to. The saddle on Abdulqadir's animal was small and hard. He had to concentrate to keep his balance. Once or twice he slipped off and fell to the ground. "You're supposed to grip him with your knees," laughed Uncle Hassan. "Unless you want us to tie you on with ribbons." It took 5 days to reach the desert. At the last village, the camel drivers ate a big meal and allowed the camels to drink deep at the well. Afterwards, under the stars, the men sat around the campfire sipping tea and telling stories about jackals, ghosts, and jinn. All of them believed there were spells that could be used to ward off danger. "What about you, Abdulqadir?" said one of them. "Your uncle says you're wise for your age. Do you have any secret words to protect you from danger?" "Not really," said Abdulqadir sleepily. "I'm not wise in the ways of the desert. But I do know that all power comes from Allah, and if I put my trust in Him, everything will be all right." Uncle Hassan was pleased when he heard this answer. "You speak the truth," he said, "but a sword can also be useful, Abdulqadir, if there are robbers about." "Yeah," said one of the camel drivers, "a sharp sword and a strong right arm." "Or a fast camel," said another, "for running away on." Abdulqadir laughed with the men, then curled up in his blanket. He had no fear. He was sure Hanja the Merciless was just a story for frightening children. Day after day, Uncle Hassan's caravan journeyed across the desert. The camel drivers passed the time by chatting about their families or the places they'd been. Abdulqadir preferred to daydream about the clear, crystal fountains of Baghdad and its libraries full of books. Many scholars and scientists lived in Baghdad. That was the place to be if you wanted to learn something.